Wisconsin Disability Vote Coalition appears with the video title, Americans with Disabilities Act Celebrating 30 Years Strong, 1990 to 2020. Denise, Jess.
Hi, I'm Denise, Jess, the CEO and Executive Director of the Wisconsin Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired, and a member of the Wisconsin Disability Vote Coalition.
A photo appears of Denise addressing the press.
As we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, I've been reflecting a lot about the impact of that act on voters with disabilities. Voting is such a cornerstone of our democracy. It's one of the tools that we have for shaping our communities, our states, and our nation. And everybody's voice makes a difference. For far too long, voters with disabilities faced so many barriers that it diminished our voices being heard in those important decisions. The Americans with Disabilities Act and other voter-specific legislation has helped to remove some of those significant barriers.
A photo appears of a woman using the accessible voting machine, followed by another photo of two more individuals using the machine.
For example, we now have easier access to polling places. Every polling place should have accessible voting equipment. And we're able to also register to vote online. But despite the ADA being around for 30 years, our work of establishing full inclusion is not yet done. As a voter with a disability and someone who is legally blind, for example, I cannot yet cast a private and independent absentee ballot. In the state of Wisconsin, we don't have an ADA online accessible balloting option, so I require assistance in order to be able to complete my ballot. Voters who wish to use the polls still face access barriers for getting into the building and to the polling site, and for many, curbside voting may not be an option. Both curbside voting and accessible absentee balloting at home are just vital to being able to safely vote during this time of pandemic. So I really want to invite you to join me in celebrating our successes with the ADA and at the same time striving to work towards full equity for people with disabilities so that together we can fulfill the promise of the ADA.